Welcome, everyone. I want to say how excited I am. I know you are, not to see two United States senators, but to welcome Jada Pinkett Smith. Thank you so much for being here. And her daughter, Willow, is here as well. Thank you for joining us. And Min Dang and T. Ortiz, who will be speaking as well. I'm really particularly delighted and honored to be joined by my colleague, Senator Rob Portman, who has been such a really strong and steadfast leader in this area. We have been joined in forming the End Human Trafficking Caucus, which we're announcing today, by 13 of our colleagues, which is an extraordinary number on the first day of a caucus to be announced, having that number of senators. And it is a bipartisan, strongly bipartisan group. So it's a proud day for us, and I want to begin by saying that we are really standing on the shoulders of others. The initial effort to address this problem, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, was passed in 2000, well before either Senator Portman or I were in this body. It's up for reauthorization. We're working hard to reauthorize it, and I'm hopeful that it will be reauthorized as soon as possible. The estimate from the Polaris Project is that 27 million people, most of them very young, are captives as a result of human trafficking, and that about 17,000 of them cross the border into the United States every year. So this problem has very much a dimension at home. The Department of Justice in 2008 to 2010 did cases involving human trafficking. 83% of them involved U.S. citizens. So lest anybody say this is somebody else's problem, it is ours. And that's why we have been working, and I've been very pleased to be working with Senator Portman on an act that would be attached now to the National Defense Authorization Bill, the End Trafficking in Government Contracting Act, which makes sure that the United States avoids complicity as a contractor, as it has been too often and too long in human trafficking, by enabling contractors to use labor that is the result of trafficking and contribute to problems that may involve sex trafficking as well. I want to acknowledge and thank particularly the organizations, the groups that have joined us here today and have contributed so much already, made it their life's work, and so enormously and profoundly, significantly contributed to this cause. And I'm going to name them, and forgive me if I don't have all of them: the Crittenden Foundation, the Alliance to End Slavery and Trafficking, the Polaris Project, Shared Hope International, the McCain Institute for International Leadership, the National and International Centers for Missing and Exploited Children, ECPAT, the International Justice Mission, Human Rights for Girls, and of course the Department of Justice and the Center for Democracy and Technology. A special thanks to Christine Kalpin, who is a representative for the Casey Family Program. They have been instrumental in this effort. And to David Sanders, Executive Vice President at the Casey Family Programs, for bringing foster care and child welfare into the conversation. Finally, in the state of Connecticut, I want to recognize the Commissioner in Connecticut, Joette Katz, for all of us who have a background in law enforcement, as well as the human rights folks who are here, and really everyone who cares about human beings. This is a central issue for our time, and nobody understands that better than Jada Pinkett Smith. She is an extraordinarily talented actress, producer, director, author, singer, songwriter, and businesswoman, but she also has launched an effort called Don't Sell Bodies, the Don't Sell Bodies campaign, to raise awareness about the commercial sexual exploitation of girls, and so I am particularly honored to introduce her as our next speaker.
want to say thank you to all of you for being here this morning. I'm going to keep my remarks extremely brief because we have two very courageous survivors that are here to speak to you this morning. But before I introduce them, I would like to give a very special thank you to Senator Blumenthal and Senator Portman for bringing us all here today, and more importantly, for coming across the aisle to support this very important issue that they have proven should have no aisle.
I stand before you today, a 28-year-old woman, graduate student at UC Berkeley. I stand before you as a friend, a lover, and a hopeful future wife and mother. I also stand before you as a former slave. We need our lawmakers to help us live free, healthy, full, complete lives. We implore you to join with survivors, and we appreciate this caucus to end human trafficking. It is a miracle that I stand before you today, and there's one statistic that I want to share with you that I hope brings 27 million down to earth, and that's 5,282. Those are the number of days until April 16th, 2026. On that day, the number of days that I've lived in freedom will finally outweigh the number of days I've lived in slavery.
Thank you. Thank you both for your tenacity and courage and your grace, and for those remarks, which I think all of my colleagues ought to hear.